Hello everyone, welcome back to 2Intuitives and Leaf. Leaf's making a special introduction because it's fall. I'm Wesley Cook.
I'm Magdalena Savieso.
We are 2Intuitives, as the name says. What we do is Magdalena will channel in messages and energies, and my system anchors them where they need to go into your system. That's what I like to say. She's like a serum, I'm like a syringe. And today we're going to just do a quick little video of whatever wants to come up for the collective today, and what wants to be spoken about, particularly because there are a lot of energies coming around. And as we were tuning in and grounding before this, the first thing that came to me was grief. And I thought this was a good one because I'd actually had a mantra come in just the other day. When my mom passed away in August, I took ownership of her dog, which I've known this dog for quite a long time. Just an angel, real sweetheart. And about 2 days ago, we adopted her out to a new family, basically sent her to have a new home. It took a little while to do, and that was a tough decision because I know what dogs need, and the lifestyle schedules that Magdalena and I have just simply will not accommodate having an animal. So we took care of her for a good 3 months, but in the end, after sitting into it, it was time. I had to sit with making a choice, and it felt best to find her a new family. And that brought up for me a lot of grief feelings. And grief is very interesting because grief, in the ways that I've found, is often thought of in terms of a lot of crying, sobbing, that kind of sadness, which is one aspect of grief. But grief can manifest in many, many different ways. Irritations, angers, sudden explosions, upsets, things that you may not always account to, thinking that this is how grief is actually manifesting things. You might have physical ailments or problems or stuff coming up that you just have no idea, what is this about? Why is this happening? And a lot of times what it is, it's ways that grief tries to find its way through the cracks to express itself. Because of my mom passing, and with this, Magdalena and I have become very, very aware of a lot of the ways grief comes out in very sideways tracks. And there was a time where her and I were having a lot of there's just triggers nonstop. And there came a moment where we were sitting in a park one day, and Magdalena had a great insight. She's like, wow, like what's coming out is not all this stuff. This is like your grief with your mom. Because when my mom passed, it was like there were no memories, no feelings of anything followed. It was so bizarre for me. So grief is a very curious kind of energetic expression, but is absolutely essential to release out. And it is something that a lot of people want to try and bypass. They want to be over it. They don't want to go through the experience because it's painful, it's intense. And a mantra that came into me the other day was, grief is my salvation. Grief is my salvation. It was allowing myself the process of grief is my salvation from all these energies that are being brought up through the grieving process. And so for whatever reason, for today, it feels that grief is what wants to be spoken about. And so I'm going to pass the mic over to Magdalena. She is going to bring in, we don't know who, and channel in a message about grief. And within these and within our intentions, there's always energies supporting what is being spoken about. So it's not just hearing this. Part of these videos are actually channeling in and anchoring in energies that will support around the theme of grief for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. She looks lovely today.
Thank you. Dear beloveds, this is Mother Mary. I come with a message on grief. Grief, sorrow, pain. You can put those all together. There's different things that may elicit grief, sorrow, pain. But they're all pathways to your heart, to the vulnerable areas that you like to hide, that you like to protect, that you do not like to showcase, because you might appear weak, you might appear less than or not strong enough. I'm here to let you know that grief, pain, sorrow, all of these emotions are here to serve you, to allow all these areas that for so long are put on the back burner, are ignored, to come out. These include anger, these include frustration, confusion, irritation, just feeling triggered, feeling as if everything bothers you. That's okay. This is a wonderful opportunity to take a look at those, to either voice them, to write them, to acknowledge them. So you feel triggered, you feel angry. Wow, this anger is coming up. I'm feeling all this anger. What is this anger really about? Most of the time you'll find that it is what we would call the guardian, your wall, to keep you protected, to keep you safe from actually feeling the grief, the sorrow, the pain. So you ask it questions. You welcome it. Hello. What is it you're here to let me know? What is it that you need from me? Why do you feel this way? And it'll start to answer. You'll feel and hear these as inspirations. You don't have to be an intuitive. You don't have to be any way different than who you are to receive these messages. These are your emotions, your feelings, your guardian that wants to communicate with you, that wants your attention. Why are you feeling so irritated? And sometimes it has to do with the situation at hand. Most of the time it does not. Most of the time it has to do with something that happened to you as a young person, a child. Or it may actually have to do with the grief that you are experiencing. These emotions of anger, irritation, feeling triggered, confusion, are all there to protect you so you don't feel your grief. But the more you start questioning your emotions, the more you start feeling them, creates such an openness, creates an openness that part of you is somewhat afraid of, because it is a vulnerable place, but it is not weak. This is where your strength lies, is meeting these emotions, getting to know them, getting to speak with them. It is no different than asking your friend if you see them crying, are you okay? What's going on? What do you need? You would do that for everyone else around you. So we invite you to do it for yourself, to bring that to the forefront. Anytime you have an emotion, to just ask it questions as if it was a dear friend that you cared so much about. This will open your heart in ways that you did not know were possible. It creates a connection with yourself, with your heart center. It's so deep. You can meditate for hours, and that works for some people. Or you can actually face who you are, be with who you are, get to know who you are, and enjoy who you are. Enjoy all the loveliness you have to offer. Really start to bring out who you really are, instead of the person that doesn't want to show these vulnerabilities because they are scared. We invite you, with our support, to go into those places that even if you're afraid or scared to meet these areas of yourself, that once you meet them, you'll feel so relaxed, so at ease. That peace you're looking for will come as you get to know your emotions, get to speak with your emotions. And we're always here supporting you, always supporting you. You're so supported in doing this because this is how you get to meet yourself. This is how you get to meet who you really are, the authentic you. And we're so happy for your journey, and we support you fully. We love you. We love you. We absolutely love you.
Beautiful. Thank you. So there you have it. I'm grieving this morning because I made a green juice and coffee with chilies. And they were so strong that I actually collapsed on the floor. My stomach is grieving. I'm going to have to sit and process that today. You think that fucks up my Saturday? You better believe it. But that is grief! That's what you got to do with grief. You got to go into it. You got to go to the deep stuff. You got to go into the coffee stuff. Grieving is though, in a sense, and I can feel like it throws your life out of whack, out of proportion, or I can feel as if when it comes in, you should be beyond it, and it can show up and manifest in different ways. And for us, as we are discovering it's what we offer, grief is what came to me as a salvation. This is what takes you deeper actually into yourself. It's grief. It's the gift that takes you much, much deeper. A lot comes out. When you're grieving, a lot gets pulled out. It just shows up in very interesting ways for different people. And one of the journeys within this, if it's offered, and is the one that we just choose to take, is it gets to really know who you are. When you speak to yourself, ask what it needs. Even if of grief, what do you need? Do you need tacos? Do you need tacos? Who needs tacos?
Everybody needs tacos.
Everybody needs tacos. So it's a blanket statement that I know it's going to work for everybody. So, so we hope this helps. You can always reach out to us at 2Intuitives@gmail.com, to the number 2. If you have any questions, or if you have anything that you'd like to speak to us about, or to book a session with us. That's it. Anything else that you'd like to share?
Oh, you're doing great. You're doing awesome.
Yeah. See, there's a reason that leaf fell. It's trees leaving old stuff behind. It's tree grief. Everyone grieves. Even the trees grieve. So I wish you a very, very wonderful week. And we'll speak to you again when we do. Bye-bye.
Bye.